Let's talk about Vermont Bee Conservation. Do you like apples, blueberries, almonds, cherries, cucumbers, or soybeans? Well, we won't have them without bees. Bees work as master pollinators, and their services are relied upon in the agricultural business. A decrease in bee population means a decrease in natural pollination. Without bees, farmers need to rely on more expensive options of pollination. For consumers, this means higher grocery prices. Bees also help keep your yard looking pretty and the life thriving in your area. They are fundamental to the whole ecosystem chain, and it is crucial to protect them in order to have functioning ecosystems. Unfortunately, due to agricultural practices like pesticide use and land clearing, bee populations are highly threatened. Let's look deeper into both the economic and ecological consequences of bee population loss within Vermont. There is a profitable honey industry in Vermont. Every year, the state produces 727,650 pounds of honey. That's 2.4 blue whales worth. Losing our bee population means losing this market. Plus, poor plant health means poor profits. In this way, the ecological and economic consequences are intertwined.
According to the Vermont Center for Eco-Studies and the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department, Vermont is home to over 350 bee species, but 55 of these species are vulnerable and urgently need conservation action. As shown by the graph, a large majority of Vermont's bee species are either vulnerable or imperiled to some degree. These imperiled species make up more than 30% of the overall Vermont bee species population. Even though the issue at hand seems grave, there is much we can do to help, and a lot of action has been taken. Vermont is a state taking action to save the bees. One of these actions has been to establish a Pollinator Protection Committee in 2017 to evaluate and halt the decline of pollinator species in Vermont. The committee has highly qualified members such as beekeepers and pollinator experts, and thanks to these members, Act 182 got passed in 2024 and took effect in July 2025. This law makes it to where neonic pesticides, Vermont's bees' biggest killers, are to be banned. The law gives a grace period of 4 years to small farms that cannot afford this big switch from neonic pesticides to other forms of pest management. By 2029, all neonic pesticides will be banned in the state of Vermont, hoping to heavily increase the bee population. This makes Vermont the second state, following after New York, to take the largest steps towards bee conservation in the nation.
Aside from legislation, there are easy, tangible approaches that you can take to make substantial impacts on the bee populations. A simple, easy, and effective method is switching from monoculture lawns, which lack biodiversity, and instead embracing the native biodiversity that polyculture lawns have to offer. A National Library of Medicine study found that in polyculture lawns there is a 3 times higher bee richness and 5 times higher bee abundance. By bringing native plant species back to your lawn, you offer the bees a sanctuary to thrive in, both an attainable and effective solution. Just take a look at UVM's efforts. With the Beekeeping Club and Rubenstein School making credible action towards bee conservation, the campus has a thriving bee population. The Beekeeping Club maintains several hives and colonies throughout the year, extracting honey and promoting their populations. And the Rubenstein School has a pollinator garden flourishing with many plant species, providing abundant food for bees and promoting various other pollinator species. By turning your lawn into a polyculture lawn or implementing pollinator gardens and green spaces, bee populations will be significantly supported into growing populations.
Standing in front of our very own beehive here at UVM. This is run by our Beekeeping Club, and this is just one of the ways UVM is getting involved to save the bees. Now, beehives aren't the only way to do this. As we've talked about, there's legislation being passed. You can make your own personal impacts by getting rid of monoculture lawns, embracing polyculture lawns, pollinator gardens. The world is really your oyster with this. Bees need us and we need the bees. Vermont's economy, being predominantly agriculture-based, makes them especially vulnerable. Because of this, we have to make the active changes to protect them. Bee survival is directly tied to our sustainable practices, so it is on us to protect Vermont's environment, identity, and economy. Let's make Vermont unbelievable by being the change that these populations need to thrive. Thank you.